Okay, welcome in everybody to episode 10 of our Playpants podcast, our little experiment, 10 weeks in, and we're still picking up some new people each and every week, which is awesome. I'm Rod Ryan. He's Jason Ginty. I know one person that's listening for sure. Jason, if I can get started, I wanted to read a comment. One of the things, maybe we don't talk about it as much, but we are on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel for this. And one of the subjects we talked about last week was dudes are dumb, right? I think that was it. Dudes
pretty much. Yeah, dudes are pretty stupid.
They don't go to the doctor. Because they don't go to the doctor. And we just wanted to really kind of harp on you because you don't get it enough to, go to the doctor and those types of things. And we said it was very, very important. Keith Lejeune says, Rod and Jason, on June 1st, I will be returning to work after prostate cancer. After recovering from prostate cancer. You are so right about early detection. It saved my life. Not only but it saved my Eiffel Tower's elevator ability to rise to the occasion. Okay, you get prostate cancer. Apparently, you don't get boners anymore. He said, this is the best reason to go get your prostate checked yearly. If you don't get treated early for prostate cancer, the cancer gets in on the nerves of the mechanical room. The nerves come out. Your elevator will not ever rise again. I don't even want to read any more of that. Just, Keith, shout out to you. Oof. That's amazing that you went. You got the early detection. We talked about prostate cancer specifically on how if that one is detected early, it's one of the most treatable cancers out there. And it's just, it's just dudes being dudes. And we don't need to repeat everything we said last week, but I thought that was a great comment.
It helps to, let everyone else know that what we were talking about last week about go to the doctor, get checked out. Don't be a dumb dude like we all are. I was bad about it in my 20s. You got to get checked because I worked in marketing in a hospital. It doesn't make me a doctor, by the way, but I did learn a few things along the way. And they always kept saying early detection. Nobody wants the finger in the fanny. I'm pretty sure. I don't. You don't. I mean, sometimes you pay extra for that, but you don't really want that. But it does make a difference. And this guy right here proves the point. And thank God he's going to be okay, man. Because that's what it's all about, man. It's all about that. So that's great. That's great news. And please, man, we're not your dads. We're not your gurus. But go get checked out. It's simple stuff. It really is.
The other thing was really, I thought was fun this week was, because we've got all the social media working for the podcast now at Playpants Pod. And, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, yada, yada, but following along and people's top 5 war movies, man, I made a huge list, dude, of things that I got to go back and watch, just kind of scanning over everything. The one that you and I both missed that showed up on a ton of lists, and I didn't do any, this isn't any kind of, I didn't use any mathematical algorithm here, just eyeballing it. Boy, people really like The Hurt Locker, and I think it's a great movie. I just didn't put it in my top 5, either did you. I mean, Hurt Locker is awesome. I couldn't believe how many lists it was on.
There was a few others too that came up, like what was it? Heartbreak Ridge, I think, was another good movie. There's a ton of great war movies, and that's what's like. You just made the point about you got like a lot of cool movies you can go watch now. Think about it. We all get in our ruts. Like, how many times over the last year did you watch Netflix and go, "Man, there's nothing here to watch"? There is. You just don't remember what's good. I told you when we were doing the Chris Cornell list a couple weeks ago for the top 5 Cornell songs we ran down. You introduced me a brand new song that I still haven't stopped listening to. And it opens up
Stay
all
with me,
these,
baby.
Yes, I got on repeat in my car. My kid's like, "We get it, Dad. The chick's leaving him," and he's upset.
Okay, but do you see why I put that down as a Chris Cornell top 5?
Just the music is so great. It's so powerful. The whole thing is just perfect. It's so great. But that's what's great about this is like, and I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I've learned so much by doing this. Like, there's new music I've been turned on to. I haven't had time to go through all the bands that people have suggested. And that's what's great. This is all about discovery for us and for people. There's no right or wrong when we do these top 5 lists. The war movie thing, dude, I can't wait to sit down and start watching some of these other movies that I've never seen that people suggested.
So a bunch of people took my suggestion because I didn't put it in my top 5, but I talked about Taking Chance, and it's a Kevin Bacon movie. So Memorial Day weekend, Sunday night, I don't have to get up early. I'm up, the kid, the wife, they go to bed. I'm sitting there. I watch Taking Chance. Dude, I bawl 3 separate times in the movie. And I really appreciate it. And I know, like, one of my old school buddies, Mike Stans, he put up something. So him specifically, he shouted out to the Playpants podcast, and he said, wow, I got to give it up to Rod. He suggested this movie, and he was like me. Everybody, Memorial Day weekend, it should be, like mandatory that this movie plays. Remember when we were little? I think at Easter time, they would play The Wizard of Oz. It was on TV. It was just, you kind of associated it with that weekend.
Yep.
Memorial Day weekend, Taking Chance. Several people watched the movie, and I was so happy to turn people onto that. It's an HBO film. I think that's why everyone didn't see it.
Right.
It wasn't a theatrical release, I guess. But if you have HBO, you can easily get it, and you can get it on demand. I forgot how great it was. I mean, I'm glad I mentioned it, and I said it was awesome. But holy shit, after watching it again, it's phenomenal. It really is.
See, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had a chance. I've been too busy catching up on all this other shit. So I'll watch it. I'll watch it this weekend, man. Oh, great. Sounds like a lot of fun.
I was crying. I'm telling you, 3 separate times I was blubbering watching this thing. And then one other shout out, I believe it's Hector. He heard us talking about maybe possibly like running out of top 5 ideas. I think I might have, did I send you his email? This guy
like 20,
sent like 25, 30. I mean, like for the next 6 years of podcasts, he's like, here, just do all these top 5s. And I was laughing my balls off. And there's some really, really good ones on there. So we're going to definitely get to Hector's. I think it's Hector. We're going to definitely get to his email and dissect some of his top 5s. We got a good one today, though. And this was suggested by you coming up on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because this is one of my favorite favorite actors of all time, and he just turned 91 years old this week. Clint Eastwood. Damn. Clint Eastwood is 91. Now, this guy's had one hell of a life, man. Forget about just the acting he's done. That's a career in itself. He's been a director, as you know. He was a mayor of Carmel, California, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. We're going to run through our top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. And I said acting, but if it's just directing, that's cool too, because whatever. It's our show. We can do what we want. But yeah, top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. This isn't easy. The dude's in like 200 movies. So you got a lot to choose from. We'll get into that in just a little while.
All right. So what I wanted to get started with, and I giggled at, I saw this article today, or it was yesterday. I sent it to Jason and I said, hey dude, I think we could maybe have some fun with this. And the headline is men in their 30s are now giving like solid reasons why they never want to get married. So when I see this headline, it's just another hack story in some men's magazine or something. But for me, it kind of hit home because when I was in my 30s, I'm running around and I'm with Jason because we're probably living together at some point, almost all my 30s. And I'm never getting married. Mm-hmm. I'm never getting married. I wasn't one of these people that dreamed of getting married. I never saw myself being married. I didn't have anything against it. I just never saw it. Does that make sense? Like there was no scenario. I hadn't met the right person. I guess that's probably a big deal.
That helps.
The kid and the wife, I didn't dream of it. I didn't have a fascination with it. And I always felt like, if it happens, it happens. But I never actively pursued it.
I never did either. It wasn't like, and I think it's not to be a dick, but women seem to, not all of women, let's not get crazy here.
You're fine here.
You're in a
safe place.
They dream of it. They got the princess thing with the wedding and the dress and the friends and the bridesmaids and all that stuff. Yeah. And I think that's just part of society, the way they make the norms. I never sat around going, well, I hope I get married someday. I always just kind of went about my day, went about my business. If I met a chick I liked, well, I'd pursue it. If it didn't work out, sucks, bummer. wasn't like, oh man, I gotta be married by the time I'm 30. I gotta be married by the time. It never crossed my mind.
You're right. I absolutely never, ever had a number in mind that, oh my, I've got this, I'm giving myself this kind of a window. And then there's the whole thing with kids. Like, okay, kids are okay. You know, they're all right.
They're great. Now.
But, you know, okay. Yeah, great. If it happens, it happens. But again, I wasn't like working on it. This article was about men in their 30s giving solid reasons why they are never going to get married. I think what I wanted to do was, I was this guy with all the dumb things I'm about to tell you.
Right.
But I was also that for a good chunk of my 40s. I mean, I didn't get married until I was 47, 48. I don't even know. 47, let's say. 47 years old. And everybody just assumes, well, okay, you in April, you must have it must have been on the table about kids. I swear to God, there was no, we have to have a kid. There was no, we've got to start working on a kid immediately. Hey, let's see if your old ball bag works. All of it. It was never talked about. I promise you it wasn't. Now then, after a while, it was talked about.
Sure.
But it wasn't a part of getting married. Though that was a completely separate discussion that we had after we got married. Nobody believes me on that. They're like, she would not have married you had you not had it. You know, you would not have been open for kids. We didn't talk about it. We really didn't. And I didn't do that until I was, my kids. So that was 48 having my first damn kid, my first and only kid. We're not having anymore. But this article, it says men in their 30s, they give reasons for never, ever wanting to get married. And I think the hope was that if somebody is out there and you have this feeling, you look at this face of mine, if you're watching on YouTube, right. Somebody actually wanted to marry this. Now, it took a long time.
Same here, man. This is not exactly time. Look, you go to the carnival and you throw a ball at a balloon and you pop it, you get a better prize than this. I mean, this is pretty bad. Someone said, sure, I'll do it.
Not everybody is made for matrimony. So as I'm going into my 40s, not married yet, I have several very, very close friends that are never marrieds, meaning they've never even done it, like myself. Put it this way. I never even gave a chick a ring. I never even went looking at a ring. I went looking at rings one time in my whole life. I never looked at a ring. I never got engaged before. I didn't live with a chick until my wife. I never even lived with a chick. I was this guy in this article. I was not getting married. It just goes to show you, you don't know what you think you know at the time that you think you know it.
People always say the phrase, never, I'll never this, I'll never that, I'll never this. Anytime someone ever says that, guess what happens? It doesn't work out that way. You can say never, but it's always going to come back around, And it's funny because I went ring shopping one time. You don't know what's going to happen till the lightning strikes. When the lightning strikes, okay, let's make the move. I remember I was,
right.
I told you, I said, dude, I'm going to marry this girl who's my wife today. And you're like, you're going to what? Because we were both, when you're about to go down this list, we were both these guys, basically. I never, but I met a great girl and we pursued everything. And I said, dude, I'm going to get married. And you're like, you're going to what? You're going to do what? And you were coming from a place of this list of things you're about to go through. Because that's what I was the same way. And many guys are. But you know what? One day, and it's lightning in a bottle, you meet that person. It really kind of works that way. It happened to you. Happened to me.
How old were you when you got married? Roughly, ballpark.
Like 33, 34, something like that. So I was older,
Okay.
Not older, but older than a lot of people.
I got married when I was 46, for crying out loud.
Not older than you, but older, because I know a lot of people throughout my life that had got married at like 22. And I'm like, dude, and I remember being around buddies who got married at 21, 22. I'm like, what are you doing? what are you doing? You're too young.
Yeah.
20s are pretty young. I always tell people, man, if you can crack past 30, then you might be starting to get ready to think about getting married as a dude.
So this article from Men's XP, they asked 30-year-old men point blank why you have no interest in taking the matrimonial plunge. Selfish. One comment, I can't ever see giving up my own things and sharing them with another person for the rest of my life. A girl once came over, questioned what he was watching on TV and whether it was too loud. He never saw her after that.
Yeah, no fooling. Because you didn't like that girl.
It's so easy to look back on this and like, dude, that's the least of your worries, bro.
But it's true.
Okay, I'm not really selling the marriage right now, but I guess if what you're watching on TV is important to you, it's just not always going to be that way, dude. It's just, I don't remember the last time I had control of the TV, and it's not that bad a place to be, man. There's other things to do.
It just shows you that, you know what, when you find someone you give a shit about, you're going to make concessions. And I'm not saying you got to quit being a dude. You're just going to be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That was kind of loud. I do have it loud as shit. I'm sorry. I'm deaf. We'll work it out. Yeah. The selfish thing. I was that guy. I met, how many girls would you hang out with? And that would happen. You'd be like, yeah, no, bye. See ya. I mean, check. I'm going to mark it on my box that yes, this was me. Absolutely.
So, and I'll say this to people. So now that I'm married, and obviously I was a bachelor for a long, long time, a few things that I still have in my possession. Okay. I still have my jukebox in the living room.
Nice.
Pretty cool piece of furniture.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's thinking I have all my pinball machines.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I got pinball. I have 3 pinball machines upstairs. I'm not bragging. I'm saying that there's compromise. Right. I didn't have to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I've got my motorcycles. I've got my Jeep that I don't use. It's just sitting there. Don't get with somebody that makes you get rid of all your shit. Then you need to wait. You need to wait. If you got to get rid of everything, that ain't cool. And I'm not saying I'm the extreme. Like I have a lot of stuff and I just didn't. There was never a time where it's like, okay, now that you're getting married, now you got to like get rid of stuff. And I'm like, it just never even came up. So I don't know where people are feeling they're losing this lifestyle that they had.
But you got to figure that out before you get engaged. This is why you test the waters. This is why you hang out for a while. You got to figure out, is this going to work down the road? I mean, I got a reel-to-reel machine. If you're watching the YouTube channel, right? Do I need a reel-to-reel machine for audio anymore? No. My wife bought me that thing as a gift like a year ago for my birthday. It's cool. I've always wanted one. I got it. Badass. I got a 1966 Dodge sitting in my driveway under a cover. I got work to do on it. It don't run. I'm becoming a trailer park. My wife's cool with it.
You don't have to say anything. You're going to be 50. You got fucking concert posters on the wall.
Good point.
Enough said.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
but in all fairness.
Wait a minute, but they're in frames.
They're in frames. That's better. That classes it up, first of all. All right. I ain't tape. And second of all, I'm on the 3rd floor of my house. I got a little Fonzie garage above my house that I use my studio. This shit ain't hanging in
cave.
It ain't down in the damn living room by the futons and the couches and the girly shit.
Right.
We divided.
Okay, so one of the big reasons why men in their 30s are saying that they're not getting married is they can't get past the nonsense of the expense of the actual wedding. So that's something that I did later in life. I might be different than a lot of people because I've heard it too. Married people will tell you, take the money, save it, do something with it, spend it on yourselves, go travel the world or whatever. We spent a lot of money on our wedding. We did it. We got married in New Orleans. So I was that asshole that I had a destination wedding, but it was a pretty cool weekend, for people in New Orleans. We spent a lot of money and we had a great party, and I don't regret any of it. People will tell me, and I don't have to ask, and I don't need to hear it, because you always want to. You're hoping that your wedding is like a really cool party. I'm still worried about other people. It's my wedding day. I want it to be a great party.
Right.
It was a killer party. It was awesome. I don't regret the money that I spent at all on it. I'm not most people. Most people will tell you to elope and take the money and do something else with it. What about you?
We financed our own wedding. You know, we had a small wedding.
Oh yeah, there's nobody around writing checks. There's no,
not at this point.
No, we're both out of dads. There's we paid for it,
and we did a small wedding, and it was great. People still talk about it to this day. They had a blast. It was in New Orleans, and you know, we said, hey, as great as that party was, as much as it was awesome, and I wouldn't change a thing. Spent a lot of money on it. We could have had a 4 or 5 week honeymoon, just traveling the world. And we like to travel. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to blow a lot of money, it can get real expensive. Don't get caught up in stupid flowers and bullshit. Make it a cool wedding, but cut out the fringe stuff, save some money. But I would still give the same advice that you just gave. Take that vacation, take that trip, go down to the damn city hall. You love the chick likes you, work it out. Go blow that money on a trip or something, or just throw a kick-ass party at the end of the day. I mean, the wedding thing, the princesses and the bullshit and the suits. You're going to get in the suits, and you got to get the dinner, and you got to pick on all the bullshit. It's just months of crap that no dude wants to do.
I'm telling you, I didn't have the experience where it was an awful thing. Now, when you get married later, you have a little bit more money, you're a little bit more financially stable, and then you can do some of these things. But you know, we had a cool wedding. We did have a wedding planner. It was expensive. I mean, we spent a lot of money on it. I think I'm a rare case where I don't regret even a second of it. I thought it was just such a great party, and I loved every moment of it. I thought it was the best. And it's the only time, this is the one thing you don't want to deny yourself. It's the only time that every single person you love and want to see is in the same room at the same time. It's unique to you and your wife, whoever you're marrying. It's unique to you because they're all there for you. Don't get caught up in these extra layers of people. You know what? We had 150 people, and I loved every single one of them. They were all important people, and those people are never going to be in the same room at the same time ever again, and they're there for you. And that was like the thing that it wasn't lost on me.
I can remember being there and just looking around the room at my own wedding going, Jesus, this is insane. Like, everyone I know that I really want to be here is freaking standing here. And it was weird. Like, it was cool as shit, but it was very bizarre. And I was just like, you couldn't drink it in enough. And I remember, like, you were there and everyone's there and everyone's getting hammered and drinking tons of beers. And I wasn't drinking. And I told my wife, I said, look, I'm not going to really drink a whole lot tonight because I kind of want to remember this shit. Because there's people here that I haven't seen in years. And I kind of want to remember this night. And I'm so glad I didn't drink a whole lot because I still remember meeting people, shaking their hands, saying, hey, that I haven't seen in years. You know, a lot of people had to travel to my wedding. So it was great. So I didn't get blasted out of my skull. Now I got hammered at your wedding, and any wedding I go to, I'm drinking all your drinks and I'm eating all your food. Wasted.
My wife said, do not stand up at the altar drunk. That was her only rule.
That's fair.
She said, no whoring the night before. Okay. You guys, everybody's trying to get me to go out. I'm like, no. So we stayed in, we just kind of partied.
Right.
The problem came in that there was this little bar right next to where I got married in the Quarter.
Hey, Ron.
So all the groomsmen, the dude that's marrying me, who's my boss, Mark Sherman, shout out to Mark Sherman. Your daughter is my best man.
Oh my God.
Not 21 at the time.
Hey, you work it out. You work it out.
So we're in this little bar in this holding pen, and we may have got there a little too early. Now, I told my wife I would not be drunk standing up there at the altar, and I wasn't, but we had a couple of drinks though before the ceremony.
It's that timing issue, Rod. We timed it perfect. Okay. We started doing shots. We started doing it all. And I might be throwing you under the bus now, but whatever. And we figured, okay, if you start drinking now, the ceremony is going to be 45 minutes, maybe half an hour, whatever.
No, it
The
wasn't. It was
booze-
like 25 minutes.
Yeah. We've timed it out that we figured the booze ain't going to hit you until after you're off the altar. So we were playing that whole
during all the photographs.
Yeah. But we're, all your groomsmen, what you don't know, and this is a great thing about standing up at your buddy's wedding. Groomsmen don't give a shit.
No.
Right? We're all
party.
We're all, you're all lined up, and they're all got their thumbs in your ass. You got your thumb in the guy's asshole in front of you. You're playing horse's ass games, and like the bride's coming down, the flower kids are chucking the roses, and your buddy's got he's cupping your balls underneath, and you're like, what the hell's going on up here? And I'm like trying to keep a straight face. My wife's sitting in the front watching. She's looking at me like, I'm going to come up there and murder all you assholes. She knew what we were all doing to each other. And she's like, looks over, and she's like, here comes the bride, dickheads. And it's like, oh, just standing up in a wedding is the best.
You would think that bag tag would be maybe, on pause for just a day or a couple of hours.
It's not. No. It's not. In fact, that's the greatest moment ever to do it.
Just a couple of things here. Again, 30-year-old men asked point blank why they had no interest in ever getting married. Numbers. One comment, I can't think that out of 7 million people, I want to commit everything to one person that can change on a dime. I've done well for myself financially. I won't risk it all so some broad can pull the old I'm not happy routine.
I can't imagine that guy's not married. Hard to believe.
Well, I don't know where we get the numbers from. 328 million people, give or take.
In the U.S.
209 are over 18. That means 108 are female. You got a lot to choose from, bro. You have a lot to choose from. I guess you just got to wait until it's right.
That's it.
You kiss a lot of frogs, whatever that saying is. You got to, don't kiss too many frogs.
A couple. You got to test. Dude, you got to vet. If you're gonna go hire an employee, you vet them, you check the background. It's just different. You're dating, you're figuring these people out. Am I gonna be able to get along with these people? If I'm working 12 hours a day every day, are they gonna be pissed that I work too much? If I get laid off, are they gonna be pissed that I'm a dead weight? You know what I mean? Like, you got to think of all that shit. Don't just dive into these decisions like a crazy person. Like, how many people that got married and it didn't work out, right? Can you look?
This whole discussion could be why you shouldn't get a fucking full sleeve of tattoos in your 20s. You might like some other stuff when you turn 30 and 40 and even 50. Hey, it's crazy. You can be 50 years old and still get a tattoo. Okay. But if you got no skin, if you got no real estate left on you, oh yeah, well, I was into that when I was 20. I thought this whatever would be cool. This big devil head. I was kind of into devils when I was 22.
That
Not
sugar
so much now that I'm 40.
That Sugar Ray tattoo on your forearm probably doesn't look so cool now.
The Godsmack son. Okay. All right. I get it. It was a great album, but same thing. Your taste changed. So this whole thing about, being stuck and you're in your 30s and you're feeling like you're never going to get married. I was there. I was there. Guys are saying that they personally prefer to be alone most of the time. They equate marriage and children. They don't want to have that whole thing. That'll change, man. That will change. Some of you won't change. Again, I have friends that have never, ever been married. Right. I don't find it weird. I don't think it's odd. I know a lot of people that never got married. I think there's more and more of it as we go forward. And then divorce. People just say, I don't ever want to get divorced. Everything I've heard about it, bad divorces, everything, nothing is worth getting a divorce. So if I never get married, ipso facto, I'll never have to get divorced. Well,
what a shitty way to live
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, what a shitty way to live. Oh, if I don't do that, nothing bad will happen. Boring, right? You gotta go through the process, man. You can't just run out and get shit done. It's not, you can't just check off the boxes of life. Oh, I graduated high school. Oh, I graduated college. Oh, it's time to get married. Click, time to have a kid. Check. It's weird. And you know what happens is you get around families. Think about the holidays, right? And there's always this single person. There's the brother, there's the sister, there's the cousin who's not married, getting to be that 30, 32-year-old person. And all the grandmothers and the moms come in. When you going to get married? When you going to find that girl? Are you going to marry that girl? That family pressure comes in. So that's another whole thing that's like, it just starts eating at you as a dude. And I would assume as a woman, if you're not getting married, because girls don't want to necessarily get married either. They're out there. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. This was just this article. That was
it's very, very strange. You just gotta go through the process, man. You're gonna go buy a car. You're gonna kick the tires, Rod. You're gonna kick the tires. That's all I can say. Yeah, kick them tires.
You're just not always gonna feel the same as you do right now. I know there's a lot of dudes that are 30 right now. No way, no how, never gonna do it. Well, you're listening to one that said all those exact same things. I did say, I started doing mornings when I turned 30.
Right.
And I probably even told you, I said, you know what? Boom. I'm dusting my 30s. I'm going to I'm going to put myself in this job. Because I didn't think I was going to do it for more than 10 years, to be honest with you. So I thought, okay, I turned 30. And then I got the job shortly after that. So I started right there. And I said, okay, if I can just pour myself into mornings, 40, great. Then I'll figure out what I want to do. But I really want to pour myself into the job. And I said it. I ended up doing it. But then 40 came and it wasn't like, okay, I'm ready for you. They weren't there. So pour myself into the job. And I'm somebody that just work.
Right.
And I wasn't looking. I was fine. I'll close with this. If you are 30, 40 or 50 and you've never been married, it's completely okay. I think I would. Okay. It's going to really sound shitty because I love being married. I love my wife. This kid is next level kind of shit. I never thought that I had the feelings. I never thought that I would just bawl as much as I do. I never thought I had it in me. So it's the greatest thing ever. But I was fine at 45 and not being married. I was fine. I had no problems at all. Now, I didn't even think about who's going to wipe my ass when I'm 70? Who's going to do these things for me? I never even thought about it.
It ain't going to be me.
I was fine. Jason, get over here, wipe my ass. I can't move.
Busy. I'm busy. Oh, you know what? Shit, I'm younger too. That's crap. Oh, that's not good. You got to find a friend.
Happy that I'm married, and you better hope I stay married because you're going to be my ass wiper.
This just took a horrible turn. Let's tell you what, Rod. We got to take a quick break, man, and then we'll talk about not wiping your ass when I'm older because that's gonna suck. But let's talk about, speaking of old, Clint Eastwood, who's getting his ass probably wiped right now, just turned 91 years old. We're gonna go through.
You said 91. I thought he was late 80s. I know you. Jason wanted to do this list. He said it was his birthday. I didn't look at anything after that.
91 years old. So we're gonna run down our favorite top 5 Clint Eastwood movies coming up in just a second. Man, the parties are rolling out. People are out having fun again. And you know what? It puts a smile on my face. When I drive by someplace or a restaurant or whatever, and I see people out having fun, I'm just like, son of a bitch, this is great. This is what we've been missing. And if you're going to go out, call up the boys, call up the peeps. Maybe you could go meet a wife over at Lucky's Pub West, I-10 at Barker's Cypress. Astros baseball is rolling. Potential wife material may be there, and you guys can chill out watching the games on over 40 TVs. The food is delicious. They got the best pizza on the best side. The wings are great. The burgers are incredible. And you know what you do? You get a couple of those Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, and you feed them to each other. Like in the movies, they feed each other, right? Right there. That's your potential wife. It's all going on. I don't know how romantic the place is, but you're going to have fun. I promise you.
If I can cut in this amazing commercial of yours. If I can just cut in.
Go ahead.
Ask me where I met my wife.
Oh, no.
You have to ask me.
Hey, Rod.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet your wife?
Lucky's Pub.
Get out of here.
Yeah, dude. The downtown location, not mine, but downtown. I met my wife at Lucky's Pub. Holy shit. It just hit me when you're doing the commercial. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're making fun about meeting your wife. I met my damn wife at Lucky's Pub.
It's probably the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls that sealed the deal for you. I'm sure
exactly what it was.
Beer was involved. And check this out. The Rod Ryan Show will be live hosting Ditch Day, formerly Senior Skip Day, on Friday, June 11th, starting at noon. Now, this is a place to meet some ladies. I guarantee it, man. Lucky's Pub West, I-10 at Barker Cypress. You know, if it wasn't such a damn drive for me, I'd go to this Ditch Day. This looks like a blast, man. I would love to do that. Just to say I would just want to stand around drinking beers and talk about how the fact I'm skipping work. I'm skipping and then sit around skipping school stories all day. That sounds fun.
We're getting the t-shirts made up, and everybody gets a marker, and you sign the t-shirts, and you start drawing dicks on people and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it doesn't take, but you remember how, hey, have a good summer. You write it on the t-shirt.
Yeah. Yes. Remember that time we did this? It was great at the beach. Yeah.
Seen at this. Yeah. So it's just, and then beers start flowing, and then the most evil shit is on your t-shirt. So Alex had to do a remote a couple years ago, did not bring a change of clothes, had to go right to a gig, and he's got dicks and vaginas drawn all over it. Suck it, big boy, blah, blah, everything written all over the shirt. He's got to do a 2-hour remote wearing that shirt.
Oh my God. That's the best. How embarrassing. But see, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes this kind of shit fun. Well, Rod, Clint Eastwood, I got a pretty good feeling you're not going to be drawing dicks on his shirt, because I think he still whoop your ass today. I mean, he's 91 years old.
Even at 91, he would pummel you.
He's a badass, man. Now, I'm not going to dive into a lot of history of Clint Eastwood, because I think we've all seen a bunch of his movies. We know he's a badass. He was mayor back in the late 80s of Carmel, California. You know, he turned down the role. He was offered the role of James Bond at one point. He turned it down. He was offered the role of Superman at one point. He turned it down. He said, yeah, Superman's great. I'm not your guy. He turned it down. You're turning roles like this down. Career builders, millions of dollars. He turned those down.
He probably did the right thing in turning those down. The James Bond thing, obviously,
he's not that guy.
British. Superman. I mean, Clint Eastwood has a vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Superman's a little, golly gee, I'm here to save the day. And that's not really... I mean, even when Clint Eastwood dabbled in a little bit of comedy, it was just his style. So
weird.
He probably did it's probably the right thing for him to turn those down.
So he owned the rights to the book that became the movie Die Hard that Bruce Willis got famous for, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it. I don't know if he didn't think it was going to work, or his production company didn't go for it, or whatever, but he had the rights to it. He had bought the rights to the book. So he had the option to make the movie. He never did. So that dude has left more juice on the table than most people get opportunities to do. So I thought, Rod, we'd go down a list of, and he's had hundreds of movies that he's appeared in. And I know probably one of your 5 will be Bridges of Madison County, but I'll let you go through your 5. Don't worry, man. Top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies of all time.
So I wanted him on the screen when I chose a movie. All right. I needed to see Clint Eastwood for me. I mean, because he was involved. I think he directed American Sniper.
He did.
But I don't think he was in it. Right. So I needed to see him. Now, if he directed and produced and was in it, that counted for me. What was tough about this? I think I like old Clint Eastwood, but for most of us, he's been old our whole lives. Like, he's always been old. But if you go back to the Magnum Force movies and stuff, I mean, believe it or not, Clint Eastwood was a young man at one point.
Hard to believe.
I like old Clint Eastwood though, when I look at his movies, and I saw young stuff. And I can't rule out Westerns because I have a Western on my list. And a Western is in at my number 5. Now, there's the good, bad, and the ugly. There's all these great Westerns that he made back in the day, but The Unforgiven.
Oh, so
The Unforgiven is so awesome.
Yep.
And I believe that won Best Picture, Best Director, and then he lost out on Best Actor. But he's old in that. And that's when his career started to go in a different way. When he was nominated for that, I believe that was the first time he was nominated for big time awards like the Academy Award anyways. And then he was in the discussion from The Unforgiven on. Clint, anything he does, he's in the discussion for Academy Awards. Yep. Everything before that, and you're not going to give him an award for Bronco Billy, but The Unforgiven changed. The Unforgiven changed his life.
Actually, Bronco Billy, they used to loop that shit on HBO back in the day when cable just was coming out. It was like one of 4 movies they showed over and over again. I used to love that stupid movie. If I watch it now, I'd probably fucking hate it. But I loved Bronco Billy.
It's horrible. It's horrible, but he sings. He sings too. Oh, I mean, he does it all. There's nothing that the man can't do.
Bronco Billy. I gotta look that one up again. Damn it. Another movie.
I can't take my kid for a walk if Left Turn Clyde. I mean.
Oh yeah. Wait, is that your number 4?
No orangutans are in my top 5 Clint Eastwood movies. Number 5, Unforgiven. Number 4. I think a lot has to do with because I love prison movies, but Escape from Alcatraz. I love prison movies. And if we get into phobias later on the show, I have prison phobia, okay, of just getting Shawshanked in the rear end.
Yeah.
Escape from Alcatraz is awesome. And I had such a fascination with it that when I went to San Francisco, I did the trolley or the ferry and went over, and boy, just seeing the cell and everything. It's a great movie. It's a great prison movie, and he's a badass in it. That's about as young as I go in my Clint Eastwood.
But that was like 68, 69, I think. That was an old movie, I believe. It was like 73, 73, something like that.
But that's my youngest Clint. Number 3. Heartbreak Ridge. How did I not have Heartbreak Ridge in my top 5 war movies? Why didn't you jump through the camera and slap my fat face last week? That movie is amazing.
And we got a lot of shit online. Not shit, but people just said, hey, you kind of missed Heartbreak Ridge. I'm like, oh, look, I haven't seen that one in years. That's why. Is that the one where he's like the drill instructor and he's like every day he's got a different t-shirt on? And and the kids try to match his t-shirt and they like go through the bartender wife or the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hard. Yeah, that movie is so freaking good. I haven't seen it in years. That's why it wasn't on my list.
And he's so grizzled and so tough. He's like,
pissed.
Damn, Clint Eastwood is such a badass.
Yeah. No, he's in shape.
All right, Heartbreak Ridge is number 3.
That's a good one. I didn't get that one either. Shit. I hate these lists.
I'm blowing past. I mean, Kelly's Heroes. Come on, great war movie. I can just see our friend Pete blowing me up because I'm not doing any Dirty Harrys. I'm not doing any Dirty Harrys at all. Do you feel lucky? I'm not doing it. Number 2, Gran Torino.
Love that fucking movie, man. It's brutal.
He's so great in that movie, is he not?
It's so brutal. But
it's so brutal, and he's an Archie Bunker type character where he's getting away with saying things that you can't say. I don't know how the hell they even edit that movie now. Just the things that he says are just
awful.
It's unbelievable, but he's amazing, and he's super old in that.
And great, and absolutely great. But it was interesting because I was thinking about this today when I watched that movie. I think, you know what? That is a lot of how old dudes just talk, man, because they grew up. I remember working with older dudes and they break balls, but they do it hard. Like they're using ethnic jokes and they're being fucking brutal. And you're like, but it's how they talk to each other. And then he was a lone wolf still talking that way.
Yeah.
And it is hard to watch now, though. It is real hard. But you know what's
hard
cool?
to watch.
He learned, though. He kind of learned along the way.
Ways. Of course he did.
Which is
Walt changed, but man, old man sitting there with his cooler of beer on the front porch.
Cool.
It's amazing. And no awards for that movie.
Yeah.
No awards for that movie. My number one, $1 Million Baby. Holy shit. The ending, spoiler alert, the end, it's so unbelievable. And who is it? Hilary Swank?
Yeah, she's great.
If she's not in your top 5 female actresses of all time, then you tell me who's in your top 5. Hilary Swank is so great, but that's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it won Best Picture, Best Director, and again, he loses Best Actor. So it's the similar with Unforgiven, but that is just the greatest. That movie is amazing. And it's a boxing movie, but it's so much more. It's so much more than just a boxing movie.
But that's where, and I've seen interviews with Clint Eastwood because he always seems to direct amazing movies. So in one of the interviews I saw years ago, they asked him, I said, well, how do you strike gold every time you direct a movie? He goes, I read a lot of scripts and it all starts with an amazing story. It's all about story. Yeah, you've got the obvious story of the boxing, right? That's great. Everyone wants to watch the boxing, but you've got to have the personal touches along the way. You've got to have the relationships. He goes, that's the stuff that's more important to the boxing. The boxing is easy. He goes, it's making the connections, the human connections along the way. That's good storytelling.
Tom Hanks was on, what's that guy, the Graham Norton show, where everybody like just talks
nuts
and drinks, and that guy, I mean, I don't even know if he's a good interviewer. He must be, but everybody goes and gives great stories, right. And that just seems like the funnest show in the world. And the Graham Norton show, it's like a Tonight Show in England,
right?
And Tom Hanks is, being asked about working with Clint Eastwood, and they're asking about, he's directing you. Is it intimidating? And Hanks is always so funny. He never yelled action. So Tom Hanks goes, so Clint Eastwood just kind of looks at you and he goes, well, go ahead. So that's it. He goes, go ahead.
Jesus.
So that's his action. And then you're doing the scene, right? And then you're going and you keep adding stuff, and then you're waiting, and Clint Eastwood goes, that's enough.
But that's a great way.
I'm not doing the voice at all.
Right.
I laughed my balls off. Tom Hanks can do some good voices, but he does the face and everything. Well, that's enough.
But that's what's great. That's what makes him a great director, though, because he only does one take. He goes, if you ask for a second take, he just goes, why? So he's going to waste everybody's time? I'd pay you to be a great actor. I've got a great script. I'm a great director. I think we can make it work in one take. Like, that's insane. But obviously his process works. But I think when you show up for a Clint Eastwood movie, everyone from the dude holding the lights to holding the boom mic has got their shit together, because I don't think he tolerates a lot of goofing around. Like, seems like a pretty serious fucking dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
we're not horsing around. We're not fucking putting our thumb up Clint Eastwood's ass as we're hanging out waiting. Hey, Clint, come here. And then, you know what I mean? We're not doing that. He doesn't seem like
walk up and bag tag Clint Eastwood.
You probably step on it.
I can't wait. Here we go.
You know what? Mine's going to be very simple, Rod. It's basically the same movies you just listed, because they're all great. The spaghetti Western ones, I haven't seen them in years, so I really can't go down that road. But they all kind of felt the same to me. I know I'm really generalizing with that, and I'm sure I'll eat shit for it, but that's okay. I didn't include any of those because they're all great. I didn't go for the Dirty Harry shit because it just, it's great too, but I just felt like those kind of all felt the same after a while too. I had Escape from Alcatraz. I had Unforgiven. I had $1 Million Baby, Gran Torino. And dude, I know, fired up fire up your guns, dude. I love those stupid monkey movies. I loved the stupid monkey movies. Look at me. I'm a fucking chimp.
You are
Dude,
an ape, for God's sake. Your relative was in that movie.
I'm a fucking knuckle dragon chimp, man. But I love, here's why. They weren't.
Wait. Now, wait. There's a couple of them, right? Like
two. There's two. Any Which Way But Loose was the first one. Okay. Philo Beto, Clint Eastwood. He's walking around and he's a blue collar, hardworking mofo. He's picking up engine blocks and he's in shape and he ends up going across the country and he's got his dumb ape with him. And then there's the stupid
orangutan,
bike. Orangutan.
Sorry. You get attacked on this podcast.
I know. It's an orangutan, right? And then he gets caught up in the stupid bikers and then they keep fucking with each other back and forth across the country. And then he's fist fighting. And
it's so silly.
It was
so silly.
And that's what makes them fun. And it's what's cool about it is that I felt when they came out, it was like the early 80s, I think. And it just seemed like people I grew up with or I knew. There was little hints, like the buddy he had who always used to turn his hat backwards when they get into a fist fight.
Where is it?
They used to always get in fist fights. Well, he turned his hat around, right? And I knew my dad had buddies like that. And they acted like that.
I'm ready. Are we going? Are we going?
Right. That was it. Turn your hat back. Oh, here we go. Turn your hat around. It was just the little things along the way that was like, yeah, I felt like that was possible in my world when I was growing up in the blue collar world I grew up in. I mean, it was all guys I knew. My dad's buddies were kind of like that. Not fighters, but just that style, the hardworking dude. So I think that's why I'm sure if I went back and watched it now, I'd be like, Jesus, this is a piece of shit. But the memory of that movie. So yeah, there you go. Top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies of all time. And put yours on there, man. I'm sure we missed some great ones. Like we always do. Always.
I mean, the Dirty Harrys, the Magnum Force. Magnum Force, I remember getting up and watching that late at night. I'm young. We have HBO. There's titties in that one. It's awesome. Okay. Like they're sitting around. I'm like, I can't wait. This is going to be awesome. Like you have your own place and there's chicks and titties and there's blow. And then the guy walks in and clears them out. Yeah. There's a chick it might be Morgan Fairchild. I wonder if that's her.
Wow.
She's naked. She's swimming in the pool. Dude, I was into it. Titties.
You said you had me at titties, dude.
Yeah, there were some good titties in those. I remember HBO.
You know what? We're gonna
in the middle of the night watch those movies when everybody was asleep.
We're obviously gonna take shit for this. Neither one of us, and I don't know. And I've seen it a few times. Play Misty for me. He plays a DJ, and he's got the stalker and all that horse shit.
I never saw it.
I've seen parts of it. I've never seen the whole thing because I always got bored. I know it's a great movie, and I know people love it, but it wasn't for me.
There's the Charlie Parker movie, The Birdman.
Oh yeah, that was weird too.
He was involved in that. I think that was his movie.
I don't know. Rod, what are you scared? What are you scared of, dude? What are you scared of? Anything? Nothing? You're too tough? Tough guy? You tough guy?
No,
not scared?
I'm interested to hear this. So you sent this in, and we're going to talk about some phobias and some fears and some things. And yeah, I've got some things, and it's definitely I have this unbelievable fear of going to prison. I really do.
Well, who doesn't?
Movies. It's weird though, but I think about it. Like I actually think about it. I'm like, how long could I last? All right. Before we get into that, if you're planning a road trip to New Orleans, be sure and spend some time with our friends, Pirates of the Quarter. Pirates of the Quarter got a nice little shout out during Open Phones Friday on the Rod Ryan Show.
Really?
Somebody said that they were on their way they were going to New Orleans soon. They said they were going to be hitting up the tour. And I said, yep, piratesofthequarter.com, or all the social media is at Pirates of the Quarter. 5-star rated walking tour. It tells the tales of smuggling and the sword fights and the cannons and the battles. It's loaded with historical information. It's fun. You're having a good time. You're already partying. You're down. The Quarter is packed right now. There's a lot of people down there. Places are open. People are ready to get out, man. So get a weekend, pick your weekend, go to the Quarter, and then a couple hours in the evening, book your tour. And you don't stop partying. Like you're having a good time. You meet the pirates, you meet the captain or the quartermaster, And then now you're walking around because you can drink when you're walking around, and you're going and you're checking out stuff, and you're going to learn stuff. It's so unbelievably interesting. All right. It's fun as hell. It's the most unique walking tour in the French Quarter. The Pirates have now been awarded the Traveler's Choice Award by TripAdvisor. Last 2 years, discover the pirate history, real pirate history. I don't want to shit on other tours. These guys are telling you facts. These are things that actually happened, where you're going to be standing, where you're looking, where you're going to be walking to in the French Quarter of New Orleans. All right. Piratesofthequarter.com. Links on the Play Pants podcast page and on our YouTube page. Okay. So you sent this thing over about phobias, huh?
Yeah, I was talking to some people over the weekend, and the guy, and look, if you're afraid of something, there's no right or wrong here, man. If you're scared, you're scared. Okay. Fear is just an odd thing, and we're all scared. We all got different phobias. So a buddy of mine, who I didn't know this, but he goes, we were talking, and he goes, yeah, no, I don't really like dogs. I'm kind of scared of them. I'm like, you're afraid of dogs? Okay. And I said, well, did one bite you when you were a kid or something? He's like, yeah, I sort of got bit, and I fuck dogs. I'm like, okay, fair enough. But I see why, because he got bit. But why do we have these phobias, or what are the big ones? For instance, I found a list, the top 10 phobias. I'm not going to go through all of them because I think we all kind of got a bunch of them.
Now, let me ask you this, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, though, but is phobia and being afraid of something completely interchangeable? Do they mean the same thing?
Pretty much. I mean, it's like, for instance, arachnophobia, the movie, right? It's a fear of spiders. You're afraid of spiders. You see a spider, you lose your shit, and you run the other way.
I don't like them, but I'm not afraid of them. Our friend Chris just posted on Facebook. Did you see in his shed, there was that big ass spider?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, whoa.
He lives in Pennsylvania. I'm like, what the hell? In Pennsylvania, you have a spider like that? I would lose my shit over that. But I mean, spiders in general.
Not really a big
Not
one.
a huge fan of them. We do a lot of FaceTiming with my kid and my mom. So we use Facebook, all right? And there's all these filters you can do. And my kid's talking to my mom, and she's got like this, fake booger hanging from her nose, and there's all these different filters and faces. My kid just wants to put on filters.
Sure.
There's one where a bug comes out of your nose, right? And it's climbing on your face, and then from back here, the spider, it looks like it's crawling on her face, and it's crawling around. And my mom's not really pumped about that, but it's keeping the kid on the phone. So
the bug thing is interesting because I know that, like, I don't know if it's as bad in Houston, but I know in New Orleans, cockroaches are a big freaking deal. Big freaking deal because the river and it's so humid here. Cockroaches, you got a cockroach contract.
But we didn't grow up like that. We noticed that when you and I moved to New Orleans, we're like, what the hell? They're like, yeah, make sure you check your shoes. It was never really like that. But we saw them, though, like right when we got down here, and we're like, shit, they're not lying. These things are big. They weren't like that in New York.
But there's a lot of people that I hear, they're like, and they freak out about cockroaches. So that's a phobia. Another big one, the fear of heights. Put me down for this one. The fear of heights. Dude, I fucking love to travel. I've been around all over Europe. And anytime you go on vacation, somehow, it doesn't matter where you go, you always end up fucking somewhere high in the air. Eiffel Tower. You go to Paris, you're high in the air. You go see.
So are you okay? So let's talk about specifically the Eiffel Tower. Are you not having fun at the top of the Eiffel Tower looking over Paris? Is it being ruined by the fact that you don't like being out? Is it the balcony? You don't like being out there?
It's, what it is like when I'll force myself. I'm like, I'm in the fucking Eiffel Tower, dude. This is once of a lifetime shit. So yeah, I'm going to be miserable, but I'm going to go up there and I'm going to suck it up. But when I'm up there, how the top gets real narrow and there's not a lot of room up there. I'm losing my shit, but I'm trying to put on a good face. I'm trying not to, look like a puss in front of my kid, or my wife or whatever the situation may be. My back is against the wall, as far away from the balcony as I can get. Dude, I'm pressed against the wall and I'm shuffling my feet. My knees are locked, dude. I mean, they're locked. If somebody bumps me, I fucking lose it. And it's like, my wife's like, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. Hair's blowing and shit. I'm like, and I can't pick the camera up. I bring it up real slow against my body.
Is it?
And
Does your body really? Is it locking up when you're up there?
I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm freaking out. And you know what's weird is I'm not.
You don't think you're gonna fall?
Yeah. No. This is where it's weird. And I don't know if this is how this works for the phobia, but being afraid of tall places, I'm not afraid of my ability to not fall off the damn ledge. I don't trust. In my head, I start playing games.
You think somebody's gonna grab you by the loophole of your pants and throw you over?
Every time. I'm standing there going, that fucker right there he's gonna grab me by the belt and chuck me overboard. Or what's worse?
Sorry.
No, dude. Oh my God. When you start going on your phobias, you start to realize what the hell's wrong with your skull. If I'm on I'll do roller coasters, but you know that part where you go up real slow, click, 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 going up. Dude, I'm fucking dying. I don't move. I don't blink. I don't move my hands off the bar. But when I go on the ride, I love it. I start thinking when I'm in a tower or I'm in a building, I start thinking crazy shit. Like, I know that there's times I've built a deck with buddies and we've had some beers. Maybe we missed a few bolts. What if today's the day that those fuckers
bolts in the
you don't know that
tower?
You don't know that, Rod. You don't know that. And that's what's going through my head with my crazy fear of heights, dude. If I climb a mountain, because it's awesome. It's one of those things. I went to Guatemala a few years ago and you climb this volcano. Dude, I swear to God, my fingers were raw. I couldn't move for 2 days because I was so tight, but I made it up and I made it down. Right. And I just was freaking out.
I guess I never really thought about how much vacationing and heights go hand in hand.
Fucking place I go. I'm like, every time I'm like,
you're right.
And then when it makes it worse, and I've forced myself, because a lot of times you can overcome your fears by doing shit. Okay. So I've always forced myself to do it to a point. But if I know today we're going to go do this, today we're going to do that, but 3 days out, I know I got some stupid high place to be. The first 3 days of vacation, all I'm thinking about is that high place I got to go try and gut out. I'm ruining my own vacation.
All right. I know you've been to Chicago, whatever used to be the Sears Tower.
Oh, loser. So I'm freaking out now.
Yeah. They got the glass that sticks out. You've been on that?
Never going to happen. No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'll go up there.
When was the last time you went to the CN Tower in Toronto?
A few years ago, went up there and I went up there a couple of years ago for like a weekend getaway up there, and it was great. And I got up there and I liked it. I didn't like the elevator because I'm in the elevator going up and those long elevator rides. You know what I'm thinking about?
Yes.
Those cables are going to snap, dude. You know they're going to snap, and they're going to snap right now because I'm in it. I think of all the little things along the way. So we get up there and they've got the glass that you can walk out on. People are laying on it, and all you see is straight down. What is it, like a 90 stories down? And so I'm the only guy in the whole place who's like back against the wall, freaking out the whole time. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm up here. I got to do it. So what do? I stick out my foot on the glass and I start tapping it like if you're going to walk on a pond with ice to make sure it doesn't crack. Everyone's jumping on it, laying on it. And I'm like being this guy testing the waters. I finally made it out. Scared to death of heights.
My wife is exactly like this. She doesn't like heights. So we're in the CN Tower. You can look it up in Toronto. And it was some record holder for the tallest whatever. And yeah, there's that area where it's super unbelievably thick, but you can see straight down. And this is only for the YouTube audience. But my wife starts laying on the carpet area. She's fine there, right? So she's laying on the carpet area. And again, this is just for the YouTube audience. And then she just... okay.
Peeks over the edge.
As far as I have, and she just peeked over. She just wanted to see what it looked like. And that was it. She couldn't walk on it. She couldn't walk on it at all. I got her. I'm telling her, I do not have this fear. I'm doing push-ups on it and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm doing my push-ups, getting my push-ups in today. I thought it was awesome. She went the Capilano Bridge. If anybody's been to Vancouver, that's the longest suspension bridge. So, dude, you're high. It's just suspension, right? So there's people everywhere, and the sucker's rocking. She's freaking out.
No thanks.
It's so crazy to think about how vacation and heights
all the time,
totally hand in hand.
You know what we should do? We should travel together, so that way you can go up and go see all the high shit. Me and April will chill out, and then you and Claudia go up and top. In London, they got the big Ferris wheel, that huge Ferris wheel. You're looking out over the river and Big Ben and all that shit, right?
The London Eye.
The London Eye. I get on it. I'm like, ooh, a Ferris wheel. And I'm like, this is nice. And the cars are huge. And they got the bench in the middle. What do you think I did? I fucking looked out. We started going up. I went, oh, shit. Here we go. I sat in the middle of the bench and I stared at my feet. My wife's like, look at Big Ben. And I would just bring my eyes up just a little bit, enough to see it. I go, okay, that's cool. I'm like, when do we get out?
So I
suck.
I got engaged in London.
Right.
We stayed at the place that was right there by the London Eye. The London Eye was right outside on the Thames. So we're right there. Big Ben Parliament. Big Ben's across the river.
Right.
We're right by the bridge. It's a cool place to stay. It's a Marriott, believe it or not. And the whole time I knew I was going to get engaged in London. Dude, this is what a cement head I am. I'm going to do it in the London Eye. I'm going to get to the very top, and I'm going to, ask April to marry me.
Oh shit.
I mean, this is what I'm going to do, right? And then it hits me at the last second. My fucking chick is completely afraid of heights.
Yeah, sure, whatever you want. Get me down.
If we get in this thing, which she did end up riding it, but I knew she was like, she's going to be miserable. Why would I ask her there? I'm so stupid. That was my whole plan going to London. I'm going to do it there. I called an audible like the day of. I can't do this. And then the other thing hit me is because you know how slow those cars move, right? I mean, it takes slow. You, I don't even want to guess, maybe 15 minutes to go all the way around, 15, 20 minutes. It moves slow. It's a huge, huge Ferris wheel.
Felt like forever.
I'm going to ask this chick to marry me. And then I'm stuck in this cart with a bunch of weirdos that now I got to like hang out with these people, and I don't want to hang out with these people, whoever they are. You don't get a whole cart to yourself. There's a ton of people in there. So then I changed my mind at the last minute and did it on the bridge with Big Ben in the background, and it was awesome. But I'm so stupid knowing that she was afraid of heights, flying over there. I'm doing it on the top of this Ferris wheel, not thinking that she's going to be completely miserable.
Man, good call though, boy. You'd have blown it hard on that. Yeah. See what all those extra people in the car. See, when you look at it from my perspective, all those extra people in the car, they go and press their faces against the glass. So they were blocking, so I couldn't see out. So that actually helped me not see how high I was. See, this is what you think of when you are afraid of heights. A lot of people there's people afraid of dogs. Thunder and lightning. I think everyone kind of jumps when you get that big crack of lightning. You know what I mean? And the thunder. I think people still jump at that.
But I love it, though. Do you love it?
I like it to a point. I don't like it when it's close and loud as shit. But I do like the idea.
And all of that stuff. Yeah. I mean, once you start, boy, things change about weather when you're a homeowner. Am I right? Am I right? Homeowner? Am I right?
I mean, just rain. I'm like, oh God, I hope the roof works. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't play with it. The fear of injections is kind of big right now. There's people that are deathly afraid of shots. I think that's the thing when you're a kid, though. I think a lot of people when you're kids, you're like, oh, I don't want to get a shot. The fear of flying. I know a lot of people have that. I used to not like that very much. I can fly. Doesn't really bother me that much for whatever reason.
You look out the window. You'll sit on the window seat.
Yeah. I'll sit on the window seat.
No problem.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. And then a big one is the fear of snakes. Put me down on this one too. You know what? You want to kill me? Put me up high with a bunch of snakes. I'm dead. I have a fucking heart attack. I fucking hate snakes. You know what? Those little.
Again, there's a bit of a difference here. So I don't want a snake on me. I don't want to come out like Britney Spears. I don't want to. I don't want to even touch. I'm wearing a white snake shirt tonight.
That's cool though. See, I like that. That's good.
But every time I say people are going to want to check the tape, I don't want to touch your snake. If you have a pet snake, I don't want to touch it. There's always that dick at the motorcycle rally and he's usually huge,
Mhm.
and he's sitting there, and he's got a huge snake around him, and I'm walking with my chick, and then I just go, "Whoa, okay, I didn't see that guy." If you're a parrot guy, that seems like a little bit more, crowd friendly. You're weirdo guy with a big snake around your neck. There's one at every motorcycle rally. All right.
All the time, you always see them.
But when I think of a phobia, I don't like snakes. They are a little creepy and scary. Do you remember Jessica on how her heart would pound when she was around a cat?
Cat, I don't get the cat thing, man.
Do you remember? That to me was legit. That was a real, she would have trouble breathing.
Right.
A cat, just a nice cat, nothing weird. I'm not talking about being attacked by a lion.
Right. A real little house cat.
Just a cat. Our friend Jessica would have heart, she wouldn't be able to talk. Do you get like that when you see a snake?
I move away.
You just hate them.
No, I move away pretty fast. I see that dude coming. I'm like, whoa, shit, I'm out. I don't like the little wiggly bitches, man. Why? I don't know why I don't like them. I think it's just the way they look. They scare the shit out of me. I mean, fuck them. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them. Fuck snakes, the little wiggly bastards. They ain't got no damn, dude. Think about snakes. They got eyes. They kind of got a nose. They can't smell. They can't see. They can't hear. And they got to stick their tongues out all the time. Like they're like they're a frat boy eating box to smell and see.
I feel like every podcast I have one pretty solid recommendation. I don't know how solid this recommendation is.
I can't imagine.
Dirk Benedict. Do you remember him?
Absolutely.
Face Man.
A-Team.
Right. Dirk Benedict, Face Man from the original televised A-Team.
Okay.
He's in a movie called
That's it? Wait, that's it? You're not going to finish the word?
No. He's in a movie called
Is your tires going flat? Dude, what? Seriously, the name is...
The name of the movie is SSSSSSSSS. Your boy Dirk Benedict turns into a snake, dude.
Ain't watching it.
It is fucking horrific. It is so cheesy. It's so bad. Dude, he turns into a snake. The name of the movie?
Directed by Clint Eastwood.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. Dude, have we never talked about the movie? Have we never talked about this?
I do remember you bringing it up and saying how bad it was. But a movie like Snakes on the Plane, the trailer would show up. Remember when that came out? Snakes on the Plane? That shit, I couldn't change the channel fast enough. Fuck snakes. Fuck snakes. What do? They got no real purpose in life. I don't see the point of it. You got pumas. Pumas are cool. Humans are okay. Mountains, water, all that shit. Why are you fucking throwing wiggly snakes on the mix? We don't need them. I don't want them. I don't like them. Fuck snakes.
You and Indiana Jones.
Dude, I love that movie. And sure as shit, dude, if I'm watching that movie, dude, watch a movie, and if there's a snake in it, and if you're sitting near me, I will pick my legs up like a little bitch. I will cross my legs.
At the end of the couch.
Dude, they might be. You don't know it for sure. You never know for sure. The phobias, man. It doesn't matter what you got. It starts to get in your skull, dude. You're not nothing, huh? Nothing. You're not afraid of heights. You're not afraid of snakes. What the fuck?
I'm afraid of scary movies. I don't like them. And I don't know if that's a phobia. I don't like scary movies. Now, as I'm getting older, I don't have the stomach for a lot of gore. I don't have the stomach for a lot of stabby shit. I to me, it's a waste of my time. But I don't know if it's even a phobia, but those fucking jump scares, I can't do it. I know the music's there. Don't open the door. The jump scares, I cannot do it. My heart, I feel like when we talk about Jessica and the cats, I just cannot handle it. The jump scares freak me out. I don't understand, and I never have understood. There's two things that I don't understand. What it is that you like about being scared, because it's an awful feeling. I don't like the music and the anticipation. It started when I was a kid. I was 5 years old. My dad took me to Jaws. Dad, I gotta go pee. God damn it! I went when my dad took me to Jaws, and my mom took my sister. I don't know how that worked out, but that's just what we did because somebody had to stay with my dumb brother. So my dad took me to Jaws. He comes home. He slams the door. He's like, "Goddamn kid took 13 pisses. I didn't see the movie." Now I begged to go see Jaws.
Oh,
but
shit.
Dad, I gotta pee. Dad, I gotta pee. We gotta go.
We gotta go right now. Right now, the fucking shark's coming.
I'm 5 or 6, right? It started with that. It's a phobia. The scary movies. I've just never been the jump scares. And Jaws is one of the best movies and the greatest movies of all time. And I can watch it now, obviously. But the jump scares, I don't. It's the same thing as people eating really, really hot food. Like, are you fucking enjoying that? You're crying right now. Okay, you're not going to be able to touch any body part with your fingers for a month because of the sauce that's been dripping all over. You can't be having a good time eating that super, super hot food. It's the same thing as I can't imagine you having a good time being scared like that. My wife loves it, loves that scary shit. I'm like, it's not fun. We can't watch any of that stuff together.
I don't mind some of that stuff. I'm not a big at the stabby gore stuff, but like the original Halloween movie, because it's the same thing. You'd probably fucking hate it, but it's the anticipation. It's like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, that's a classic example of the music.
Right. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah,
and I like. But that's it. Remember the old Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, right? The original TV series. I was a kid growing up. So, you know, when Bill Bixby or Bruce Banner would turn into the Hulk. He started out with he'd Hulk out. The eyes would get changed to like the white, and they had that music that you knew, oh shit, he's changing into the Hulk. Somebody pissed him off. The second that music started, because it'd be my parents and my brother and me sitting on the couch in our pajamas on, whatever night of the week I was watching it. The second that music started, my brother would get up and fucking run behind the couch and hide until the Hulk scene was over. And then he'd be like, is it over? Is the Hulk gone? Yeah. And he'd come back. Dude, the only reason you ever watched the show was because of the Hulk. The rest of it was boring.
Right. And my brother was the exact same way. So my brother's 3 years younger than me. So he's around you guys. And
scared the shit out of him.
You know what the Hulk was? I was afraid of Gene Simmons when I was a kid. Like, I thought Gene Simmons was the fucking scariest thing I'd ever seen. I mean, go to Alive 2, go to the back, and there's Gene sweaty, the blood. It's the scariest thing ever. And Paul's over here singing, and Gene and Ace are singing backups. I'd shout it out loud. And I'm like, how could Ace Frehley share a microphone with him? How could you get so close? He's so scary. How could you sing in the same microphone as him? I was afraid, but that was a different, because it didn't hit me until you said the Hulk, because my brother was like Hulk fan, but he freaked out over it. He was afraid and loved it at the same time. I was like that with Kiss. I was completely afraid of Gene Simmons, but I couldn't look away. I forgot all about that Hulk. It was the eyes. As soon as Bill Bixby's eyes turned, my brother freaked out.
Well, because there's always because you got to edit that shit. They didn't have the CGI back then. So like he'd be turned away, buried in his arm, and then he'd have his normal eyes, and then you could see him like starting to Hulk out, and then he'd turn and look at the camera, and fucking big eyes are there, and you're like, oh no, here he
contacts in right there.
Yeah, like they edited it out. So yeah.
There was another show. Okay, if one person remembers this, Patrick Duffy is the actor. He played Bobby Ewing, right? JR's younger brother.
Yeah.
The man from Atlantis, he had webbed fingers. Okay? Dude, maybe one season, but it's Hulk time. Because my brother, again, when he had webs between his fingers and his toes, and he was like a swimmer. Like he swam.
Like a duck.
Dude, Oh my God, man from Atlantis. I can't believe this. I'm writing this down.
I'm gonna have to watch that now too. I got
From
so much.
Atlantis.
You know what would be interesting, Rod? If there's a like a who would analyze this shit we're talking about? Like a psychologist, a brain doctor of some sort. If someone's listening and can kind of like pick apart our little phobias and maybe make a comment like, hey, why are people afraid of high places? Why do we not like snakes? Why are we afraid of spiders? There's got to be reasons. And I'm sure shit, I can sit here and Google it all night. I want someone to give me the answers. But it's interesting, like why do you get scared of these things? You know, the height thing is weird. It's a pain in the ass because I love to travel. And like you said, everything ends up being a high place when you travel. There's always a lookout.
Shit, man. I've never put those two things together because it doesn't bother me.
Oh, like I'm in Paris and Notre Dame.
When you said traveling, vacation, there's always some kind of height thing involved. You're right.
Always fucking heights everywhere. Like, Notre Dame, you got to climb the stairs to get up to that bell tower, right? Well, before it burnt. And I'm climbing, and then there you are. You're right on the ledge. Now, you're not super high at Notre Dame, but you're up pretty good. Yeah. And then you walk along that ledge, and the gargoyles are sticking out, and they're all, and you're like, oh shit. And I'm just back against the wall like some little bitch creeping along. Like, don't touch me.
Maybe somebody didn't put enough bolts in these gargoyles.
Back in 1100s, they didn't put those bricks in right. I'm pretty sure they didn't, right, Rod? Jesus Christ. Yeah, scared of everything. Snakes and high places. Rod, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I did have a final thought today before we wrap this up. The Rod Ryan Show Cares online store opened up today, and This is our 12th year. I'm so happy if you're listening to this podcast and if you're watching it. And now I'm going to actually ask you for money, but I want you to get something for your donation. The Rod Ryan Show Cares store is online. We've got all new merchandise. There's going to be some new stuff coming. I'll give you guys a heads up, an exclusive. We're working on some bucket hats. We're working on some fanny packs that aren't up yet, but there's about 5 or maybe 6 or 7 t-shirts that are up. We're raising money for backpacks for kids. Every year we work with Houston Children's Charity, and it's a great organization. They do stuff all year round. And this is just one program that we do the heavy lifting for them. So my goal always is for about 4,000 backpacks. They're about $20, $23 a piece now because the backpacks come stuffed with age appropriate school supplies. There's a lot of kids, and Jason, we grew up kind of in similar background, didn't have a lot of money, but had what we needed. I always had, I always had pens and crayons and scissors and whatever I needed.
Right.
And it's unbelievable. And we hear from teachers that out of their money, they're buying kid stuff. You just don't want to be the odd man out when you're a little kid. So we don't put our name on these backpacks. We don't do anything to make them stand out. We never have. I would have loved to have these Rod Ryan Show backpacks, but then kids are going to know, oh, that's the free one. Didn't want that.
And your marks.
So, and that was something that we decided early on. So all summer long, you'll hear me plug it here and there. The Rod Ryan Show Cares.com is the website, or go to links and guests and go check out the new merchandise. But I need a lot. I need a lot of money from you guys. Again, 4,000 backpacks at about $23 a piece. That's how much money I need. What's your goal, Rod? That's my goal right there.
That's a lot.
Go ahead.
My final thought, Rod, was I was going to actually bring that up if you weren't. So I know how important it is to you, and you do a lot of this stuff. And this is something that I never really hear you chirp about too much. And you could, but you don't, because you're doing it for the right reasons. You do the backpack thing. You do, and I don't want to confuse the issue. So if I'm confusing the issue, please tell me to just shut up and we'll move on. But
no, go ahead.
You sell t-shirts in the fall too, right? For prostate.
Yeah. So we have a kick-ass program. So it's called Kick-Ass, and that'll be for prostate cancer awareness in September, October. Everybody knows you see pink shit all over the place, and that's, breast cancer awareness month. And then we'll do the Boobs Rock campaign, but we do both simultaneously. And, we've got one of the best cancer centers. We have the best cancer center in the world here. I mean, the medical center in Houston, that you can't deny. It's the biggest in the world. It's the best. And MD Anderson, I do think that when cancer is cured, it's going to happen at MD Anderson here in Houston. And we have a team of doctors that we adopted, and we give them money. I've been up there in the labs before. I've held cancer in my hand in a petri dish. It's the craziest thing. The lab rats, the whole thing, dude. But yeah, we work with them. We'll be working with them in the fall.
And I just want to say that that's awesome that you do that. And you've been doing it for quite a few years. And I actually, I've bought your shirts over the years, and I had the one on just the other day. And this is my final thought. And it was the one where it says like, this shirt helped provide money for prostate cancer research, something like that on the front. You know, it's not the sexiest shirt, but I wear it because I want to show the world that, hey, yeah, I'm out there trying to do the right thing, get the finger in the fanny and all that stuff. Right. I was buying groceries just last week. Some dude stops me and he goes, thank you. And I go, for what? You don't pay attention to what shirt you're wearing, right?
Yeah, you forget what you're wearing that day.
You know what I'm fucking wearing. He goes, thank you for that shirt. He goes, thank you so much. He goes, you don't understand. And he was like the former director of some cancer research center out in California, who was just having to be visiting New Orleans. And he goes, you don't know how important that is, man. He goes, you know, we are getting closer every day. We're so close. And he goes into this whole speech. I'm standing in the grocery store and I'm like freaking out. I'm trying to buy bread and some ham. And he's telling me how important every dime counts and how important all this fundraising that people do and you're doing as well for the cancer research. And he just was like, he couldn't stop thanking me. I'm like, dude, I spend a few bucks on a t-shirt. I mean, you know, it's cool. And I'm glad I did, but he just kept going. I said, well, you need to talk to the dude who puts this on these shirts. But it means something, dude. And I don't think when you do what you do, I don't know if you quite ever fully understand those impacts. I mean, I know you do.
No, because, you know, you're just moving and
you're 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're moving 100 miles an hour and it's just you're hitting deadlines and the thing about the backpack program, which is good, we don't just write a check and go. We pass out these backpacks and we're putting them in people's cars and you see the kids, you know, and the kids are awesome and the families, they're so appreciative. They're like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you get to kind of see that. I mean, everybody that wants to donate to something, you're hoping that dollar translates to a bottle of water that's handed to a kid, you know, even though you're not doing it, you're hoping it. And,
right.
And I don't like to shit on other charities, but you know, so much is spent on Post-it notes for that organization. And right. you got to buy pens and paper and there's salaries. People, you know, people are paid large salaries to work at some of these big, huge national charities. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the beauty of some of the stuff that we do. I try to make it as simple as possible. You buy a t-shirt, a kid's going to walk into school with a backpack this summer. If you don't want one of our t-shirts, you can drop $20. We'll get the rest, but $20, drop $20 in there. You don't have to get a t-shirt. I'd like you to get something for your money.
Yeah.
But drop $20. We'll go buy a backpack. We'll give it to a kid on you. That's when I donate money, I'm like, where's it going? Where's it going? And this one's really easy. And then when it comes to the prostate cancer and the breast cancer, there's people that we know, and there's a lab that we give our money to. I mean, you can only imagine the machine that MD Anderson is. We give our money to a team of doctors. Here, go cure cancer. That's crazy.
Awesome. That is cool. But I wanted to bring that up, that I wanted to tell that story. And I know that you know it, but you don't know it because you don't get those intimate one-on-ones that you hear. You sell a t-shirt and you're like, great, you appreciate the money. But the fact that I'm standing there and some dude just comes up to me out of the blue and starts chirping, I'm like, whoa, this is heavy, man. This is really, really freaking cool. So yeah, keep up the good work, Rod. That's what I wanted to kind of say for my final thought for all your charity work.
Yep. You can go to Links and Guests. You go to linksandguests.com. I bought that too.
Good work.
All right, man. That's it, dude. Episode 10 in the books, huh?
That's it. That's enough for today. 10. I can't believe we made it to 10.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Peace.